In this lesson, we're going to be looking at retargeting ads through using your Instagram account. So to do this, there will be a few steps involved, but basically the whole idea is that in the previous lesson, I showed you how to target cold traffic, so visitors to your profile and people who are engaging on your profile, how to create ads to get in front of them, and then basically what those should do is they should start actually driving people to your website. And then what we're going to do is retarget those people who land on your website but don't complete a conversion action. So conversion being, they signed up for your freebie or they actually just purchased your product, which is pretty great. So there's going to be a lot involved in this, and what I'm going to do instead of sort of walking you through the actual step-by-step process is I'm going to show you the one I'm currently using that is actually being successful. So I'll show you my retargeting campaign, which I think is really valuable just to see what's going on. And I'll also talk about, still step-by-step on how you can actually set this all up. So like I said, the idea is, we've had our Instagram account, people are visiting it, we've created Facebook ads, we're retargeting them, showing them our product on Instagram, maybe in the feed, maybe in the stories, and we're also targeting people who are engaged, all that good stuff. And then some of those people are gonna, click your ad and then visit your website. So for example, let's say I was trying to advertise the course you're currently in. People would come here, maybe they'd take a little look, they'd be like, oh, okay, cool, this looks good, but oh, my dog just ran past, and all of a sudden they've closed it. Like they're just distracted by life, maybe they had to leave the house, they had to do something, and they forgot about it. And obviously that is a missed opportunity for you and your business, and that person may have actually been interested and they wanted to purchase your product, but as anything, life just gets in the way. So what we can do is actually set up a retargeting campaign to target people who have visited your website and not taken a conversion action. So to do this, I'm going to be running through everything, and at any point, maybe something doesn't make sense, comments are always welcomed down below, ask away any questions. But like I said in also the previous lesson, by no means am I sort of a certified Instagram Facebook business manager and advertising expert. This is the way I do things. It's the way I've learned, of other people and friends. But it works. There is actually a positive ROI on what I'm doing at the moment. I haven't been doing it for long, but it is working, which is awesome. So hopefully you can learn something from this. So what I have done here is I've set up a campaign which is going to be targeting an audience of people who specifically actually visit my site. So let's get into it. So right here is called Instagram Masterminds. My goal is actually to reach people. So when you set up the actual campaign goal, so if I just create one here quickly, my actual goal is just to reach people, because I just wanted to show my ad to the maximum number of people, and I wanted to also limit how often this ad was shown to people, because the way I was thinking about this is that people will visit my sales page, but I don't honestly get like a ton of traffic to it. I get a good amount of traffic to my sales page, but I don't get like thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands per sort of week. Therefore, I don't want to show my ad to someone over and over and over and over again, because some people just don't want to purchase. So with reach, you actually have an option to limit it, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's just get out of this. How do I cancel? We'll just go back. This shows you, how much I know about the interface. We'll just go back, go into our actual campaign itself. And then in here, I have different ways of actually targeting people who have sort of visited my page. And what I'll do is just, instead of doing performance, I have a sort of custom one here, just to show you what's going on. And I actually haven't spent too much money on all of this, which is great. Retargeting is a very cheap way of making money off Instagram. But let's go through this. Let's break this down. So first up, I have an ad set which is basically targeting people who have initiated the checkout in the last 14 days. I then target them on my Facebook feed and also in the Messenger. So that's where I'll place my ads. I also do some more advanced stuff, which I definitely won't be jumping into because it involves a lot more. But I use Google Tag Manager to basically track if someone scrolls to 50% of my sales page. So I can get really targeted in terms of, if someone scrolls to 50% of my sales page, they're more likely interested than someone who doesn't scroll at all. Maybe they land on it and they go, nah, this isn't for me, I'm out. I also do the same for 25%. I target people who have only scrolled to 25%. And once again, this is just to sort of test things. You can see right here, just cost per result. This one's, you know, it's cost $15 to do. This one's only $9 to do, so it's working really well. 11, 10, 17. So you can see which ones actually work better. It's almost better to actually target people which, you know, you would think who have scrolled to 50%. They're more interested, therefore it's cheaper. I also target people who've watched my sales video. I also just target people that have just visited the sales page in general. So, you know, I've got people who are visiting, I've got people who have initiated the checkout, they've literally clicked a button to, you know, take them to the checkout, scroll and all that. So there are different ways of doing this. And what you essentially need to do to get this done is obviously have the Facebook pixel on your website. Tons of information out there. I'll try and add some just links down below that'll help you out with all that information if you've never done it before. But yeah, the way I said I do it, I use Google Tags Manager to set all this information up and specifically track stuff. It's quite advanced, but it works out in the end. So let's just get into sort of some details here just to show you what is working. So I've had link clicks, I've had a purchase on this one. So pretty much what I did is I've spent 49 cents and I sold the course for $127. You can see that's pretty good money, as you can tell. If everyone in the world, you know, could just spend pretty much, even if you could spend $1 and make 127 back, the $126, you know, profit, not too bad at the end of the day. You can see here as well, also had a purchase of this one. I actually had two purchases. Sometimes it can be a bit weird how it tracks stuff, but I've had a purchase of that one as well. So like I said, this is really early stages. I've only spent $4. You can imagine after I spend $100 on this, it's really going to start picking traction, which is nice. But yeah, I'm retargeting people. So what I'm going to show you is just how you can actually retarget people, create an audience on Facebook right now. So I don't want to leave you in the dark. So you can actually, you know, target people who have visited your sales page and, you know, maybe initiated checkout. So to do that, I'm going to come up to my ads manager and come into my audiences. Once again, autos, audiences in assets is another way to get there. Just let this load up. And as you can see, I've quite a few audiences for my courses. I've really tried to get into Facebook ads recently, trying to learn everything as much as I can. But what we'll be doing is specifically looking at, you know, our Instagram masterminds one here. So as you see, I have the initiate checkout, the scroll. I also track people, you know, who've purchased it because I don't want to be targeting people who have purchased my course, so I can actually use and exclude them. Also have, you know, people who've joined my free Instagram training, so I can target those. And then visit, also plus no sale. Let's jump into the visitors. It's the most simple one to set up. We'll open it. We'll come into just sort of edit for audience details. And what will happen is, excuse me, if you want to go about creating one of these, come up to create audience, create a custom audience. And then you would choose website traffic because it's going to look at specific actions using your Facebook pixel that'll be on your website. And then you have this box to bring everything up. But I'm just going to open mine so it's all ready and made for us. So it gets not too complicated, but pretty much we're saying meet any people in the following criteria. We make sure we target our pixel. So this is the pixel on Aaron Ward. And then we're going to make sure people have visited any specific web pages, Instagram marketing course in the last 14 days. So it's only going to keep people who in the last 14 days who have visited my page, keep them in a list. Some people would argue against this as a bad idea. It should be 30 days. It should be 90 days. I'm testing different things out at the moment. Like anything with ads, you should be testing stuff out. But 30 days is a great place to start. And then I also make sure to exclude people who meet any of the following type criteria. So what you do is you click this exclude more button and it adds this in for you. And then I make sure people have visited any specific web pages, which is the Ultimate Instagram has purchased. This is actually the thank you page for this course. I know the URL is a bit different, but it is the thank you page. So it actually is a confirmation of purchase. And then 180 days is the maximum amount. So it's basically anyone who visits this and hasn't visited my purchased, you know, thank you page. And then it's ensuring that we don't target any of those. So that's the audience for that one. I'm going to also just show you the other ones to make sure everyone is on the page. Initiate checkout, definitely an important one. So we'll open up this, we'll click edit. And the way I set this up is I do have an actual custom excuse me, sort of a custom event that is tracked, which is called initiate checkout. So some people, may just have page view, view content, purchase lead. You can use all these depending on your website that you have. I did have to create a custom one through Google Tags, just due to how my website works. But I track anyone who's initiated a checkout. There is another option here, which is like it may be actually just called initiate checkout. Mine's place, but either way, there is typically one. I do in the last 14 days. And then I also make sure to exclude people who have purchased. Once again, it's pretty similar across the board. The scroll is pretty unique. I target people who have visited my course and also have scrolled certain lengths. So scroll tracking is a custom thing I did in Google Tags once again. And then also make sure I exclude people. So that's how I set up my audiences so then I could target them. Let's jump back into our ads manager. Let this load quickly. Come back into our retargeting, and then I'll show you what I'm actually doing. So this is where everything sort of comes together. So we'd have created our audiences, to target people who have visited your website and not visited, your sort of thank you or success page. You need to create those audiences, and then you can create multiple ones like I did just to sort of test things out. But if you're starting off, don't overwhelm yourself. Just target visitors to that page, the first one we did. So target visitors who haven't actually landed at your thank you page or confirmation page. Really simple that way, and you can just start getting things going. So we'll jump into this. I'll show you how it looks. So this would be a ad set. So I like to label things nice and simple. So they visited the sales page. I spend $5 a day on this one. And then I choose that custom audience that we would have created. So you can go and create that audience. Maybe they visited a certain product they visited, but they didn't sell. I make sure just to include everyone 18 to 65, once again, all people. And then in my placements, I actually do Facebook here. So I'm currently testing Facebook for my courses. But once again, you should be testing all of these anyway. You should test the feed, and I just have instant articles on this one. I also just do the inbox because the ad format, the actual size of it, works the same as your inbox ads. It wouldn't get cropped awkwardly or anything, so I was happy to run both of them on this. But I'm also going to start testing in the feed, and I'm also going to start running ones in the stories, because as you can see through this, I'm getting a positive ROI, which is pretty good. So definitely worth, I'll pretty much duplicate this ad set. Same goes for all of these, and start targeting just the feed and then just the story. So in the end, maybe after the end of this month, I'll have maybe 20 to 30 different actual ad sets in here, targeting different things, which is really cool. And then from there, I did just leave the optimization for reach. And then just things to include is I have my frequency cap set to 1 impression every 3 days. So someone who is in this audience, they visited the sales page, but they haven't actually purchased. I'm going to show them this ad 1 time every 3 days. And if you remember, in this ad set as well, this is only going to keep that person in there for 14 days. So it'll show them 3 days, 6 days, 9 days, and then on the 12th day. So they're going to see this ad roughly 4 times. And then, if they haven't seen the ad or purchased after 4 times, they're typically not interested. So, that's why I have this set to 14 days. A lot of this stuff all comes together like a spider web at the end of the day. And it's why the goal was set for reach when we set this up. So that is that. We can come in, and this is actually pretty much the same across everyone. I'll just show you my ad and then show you some other ads I've got in there. So I have this one. And just to sort of run through it, I have it in the mobile newsfeed. Obviously the desktop newsfeed looks like this. We have instant articles, which looks more like this. So I actually use the carousel ad on this. It works really well because I can show the results people get off using my course. But I definitely need to come in here, like anything, like I always recommend there should be different ads in here. I would always say there should be 10 in here. I'm currently working on some ideas. I have them saved on my computer, but they're ready to start adding in and publishing. But yeah, I say want more Instagram followers, Instagram masterminds, get it. Pretty much just running through all the stuff. I leave it to learn more. Try and include just an emoji in there to make it stand out a little bit more. Different carousel images, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Really simple. You just need to go about creating your own ads. Facebook Pixel is enabled as well. You can pause this, take a look as you wish. You can also, obviously advertise on Instagram, but I recommend you do that in the actual ad sets and themselves. So what we're also going to look at quickly is we're just not going to enable this. Come into our ads just to show you the other ones I'm running. So this is a single image that I have in my feed. So it's got different text in it. It's a different picture. Your spot is waiting, different headline. We can edit this one. This one will be different in some form of way. I think it is a different text in the body, or it could just be a duplicate from other ones as well. So yeah, as you can see, I'm honestly going to admit I've been a little bit lazy on this because I was just testing it out. But as you can see from my results, retargeting is definitely worth it. At the end of the day, we'll come back into our Instagram masterminds. You can see I've made total spend $4.59. I've earned $255.27. Not big numbers yet, but as you can see, once I start multiplying this, I start creating more ad sets for this campaign. I start creating more ads, testing things out, even coming all the way back to a deeper level of just campaigns, because the goal is this on reach. Once I've started doing that, I could try and switch this to conversions. I could start actually trying to optimize people to buy instead. There's so many ways to test this stuff out, get into it, and really sort of get into detail. But like I said earlier, and I don't like saying this, because I do want to help you as much as possible. This isn't a Facebook ads course, where I can dive into this. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. And I could always sort of make some more content as well, just for free on my YouTube channel for all this information. But overall, this should give you an idea of like the actual strategy, how you can use this. And it's pretty much just a learning process. You have to go and do it to learn. I can't just sort of sit here and say it's just going to magically happen for you. It takes a bit of time, takes a bit of work. Like I said, I've been a little bit lazy on it. This should be much more, but that's all my big plans for this month. Getting really stuck into this stuff because it can work really well with Instagram. So let's recap this whole video. Let's go through the whole strategy again, combining the lesson before this where you're targeting cold traffic. So what you're doing is, you're automating your Instagram growth. You're gaining followers, you're gaining views to your profile. People are visiting this. So what you can do is then cold target them. You can create Facebook ads, either just, getting them in front of them on, Instagram, in the stories, in the feed. You can even target Facebook, get it in on their feed, because most people use Instagram. Use Facebook as well. Test, test, test. That's all I can say is just test, test, test. Different ideas, see what works for you. And then obviously from that, what you're going to be getting in front of them is you can just get your product straight in front, or you could try and give them a freebie just to actually try and collect their information, which then obviously leads onto a whole nother subject of you can email market to them once you have their email, etc. And then after that, once they actually visit your website, you've sent those ads out to cold traffic, people have clicked on them. You can then retarget them because they're the people who are really interested in what you have. So they've clicked through, and from there you could retarget, saying, oh, like here's our product, or you can even actually start saying, here's 25% of our product, etc. Test once again. Don't just be like, oh, let's only offer them 25% off. Do different ads. Offer them 10% off, offer them 15% off, 25% off, offer 50% off if you want to. Or just offer them no percent off. You just got to test. That is really the aim of the game when it comes to this. And budget is all going to be different for everyone. So I can't recommend and say, go spend $1,000 on Facebook ads. It comes down to what money you have. But if you want my realistic approach, it's going to take actually around $1,000 to $2,000 US dollars to really start getting used to Facebook ads, understanding them. And what you can think of it is this: if you want to learn how to do this really well, which I'm doing at the moment, is yes, you can take a course, you can learn that way and spend, like $997 on a really good Facebook course, or you can just spend, $1,000 on actually testing stuff out yourself, learning how it works, because Facebook, ads they really do try and optimize. They want you to make money at the end of the day. It's a weird thing you have to learn to trust. But once you start seeing results, it's really awesome. Like, I'm not huge on Facebook ads. I've only just started getting into them. But you know, this is what I've learned. This is what's working for me. And I also run this for clients as well. I help them out. So luckily they give me a little bit bigger budgets than I have to work with. But this stuff works really well, and it's definitely worth getting into. Because once again, you know, spending $4, like, I can't wait to see this number being up at like 100 or 1,000. Just for, once again, you know, the actual sort of results that I'm seeing. To spend $5 and earn 255, so 250 bucks, that just makes a lot of sense to me. And I haven't even really got into the actual testing stage yet. So hopefully you're excited. You know, you're like, whoa, this is so cool. I didn't know maybe you could do that, or you know, maybe you did know how to do this and you can apply the strategy, whatever it is. Hope you can use this information and start earning more money, generating more leads, and just overall building your business online.